They say the gods were not born in the sky, but on earth, among mountains, seas, and volcanoes that the ancient Greeks transformed into temples, thrones, and abysses. On this journey, we will explore the real landscapes where legends were born, the cities that witnessed the rise of Athena and Apollo, the islands that inspired Atlantis, and the palaces that housed creatures half human, half myth. Here, history and imagination merge until it becomes impossible to tell where stone ends and divinity begins. Our journey begins where it all started. Athens, the capital of Greece, rises as a crucible where history and myth intertwine. Its Acropolis, standing 156 meters above sea level, dominates the city with solemnity, while to the north, in the distance, looms Mount Olympus, the legendary home of the Olympian gods. This visual and spiritual connection between the city and Greece's highest mountain reminded Athenians that mortals shared the world with the divine, and that the inspiration for their heroes and gods arose from real, tangible, and majestic landscapes. The foundational myth of Athens revolves around the contest between Athena and Poseidon for the city's possession. Poseidon, with a sharp strike of his trident, made a spring of salt water gush forth, displaying his power and reminding men of the sea's strength. Athena, however, offered something different: an olive tree, a symbol of peace, prosperity, and wisdom. Faced with this choice, the citizens of the city decided that Athena's gift was more valuable, a resource that would nourish life, not just display strength. It is said that the very first sacred olive, planted atop the Acropolis, still grows today, silently witnessing the choice that defined Athens' identity. The Parthenon, built in the 5th century BCE, stands as an eternal monument to this connection between mortal and divine. Its chryselephantine statue of Athena Parthenos, 12 meters high, dazzled all who beheld it, while the Panathenaic procession, the most important festival in Greece, circled the temple in honor of the city's patron goddess. More than a building, the Parthenon was a home for the divine and a symbol of Athens' cultural and artistic greatness, a place where humans touched the celestial and where myth found its tangible residence. But the relationship between Athens and Olympus went beyond symbols. Every day, the citizens would lift their gaze to the north, toward the majestic silhouette of Mount Olympus, understanding that it was the home of the 12 Olympian gods, with Zeus reigning from the Mytica's peak, 2,917 meters above sea level. The mountain was not merely a geographic feature, but a reminder of divine hierarchy and the delicate balance between mortal and eternal. Every myth found its anchor in this geography, merging reality with the most fertile imagination. Today, the Parthenon still stands atop the Acropolis, surviving millennia of wars, plundering, and transformations. More than a ruin, it is a living symbol of Western civilization, a testament to human ingenuity and the enduring power of myths. Each year, around 7 million people visit this site, traversing centuries in an instant and experiencing the same awe that the ancients felt when gazing toward Olympus. Athens and its sacred mountain remind us that myths are not merely stories. They are echoes of a world where geography and imagination meet, where stone can whisper the voice of the gods. Located 180 kilometers northwest of Athens, on the southwestern slope of Mount Parnassus, Delphi rises 570 meters above the valley of the Pleistos River. From this privileged position, the sanctuary dominates a landscape of rugged mountains and fertile valleys, reminding visitors that they were in a place where the earthly and the divine converged. Delphi was more than a geographical site. It was the spiritual heart of the ancient world, where the voice of the gods could be heard more clearly than anywhere else in Greece. Here resided the most powerful oracle of the ancient world. The Pythia, Apollo's priestess, acted as a mediator between mortals and the god of the sun and music. The consultation process was a complex ritual: purification through baths and fasting, animal sacrifices, and finally, the question seeking divine guidance. Deep within the Adyton, the temple's underground chamber, vapors arose that, according to the ancients, inspired visions and prophetic words. Modern geological studies have confirmed the existence of fissures emitting ethylene gas, a narcotic component that could explain the Pythia's trance. Among the most famous predictions were those given to Croesus, king of Lydia, who misinterpreted Apollo's advice, and the prophecies that guided Alexander the Great's expansion, shaping history in irreversible ways. The mythical origin of Delphi traces back to Apollo's confrontation with the serpent Python. According to legend, Gaia, the earth, had sent Python to guard the sanctuary. Apollo, in an act of strength and symbolism, defeated the serpent and claimed the site as his own. In honor of this victory, the Pythian Games were established, athletic and artistic celebrations that paid tribute to the transformation of a chthonic place associated with the depths of the earth into an Olympian site governed by the sky and the sun's light. Delphi thus became a bridge between worlds, a space where the terrestrial was illuminated by the divine. At the heart of Delphi stood the omphalos, the navel stone, considered the center of the known world. According to the myth of Zeus's two eagles, they had flown from opposite ends of the earth and met at this point, marking the universe's center. The inscription, "Know Thyself," at the Temple of Apollo summarized the philosophy guiding visitors: to explore not only the external geography, but also the inner landscape of the soul. Delphi was, in essence, a mirror of humanity, a place where divine guidance and personal introspection intertwined. Today, Delphi preserves its sacred aura through a vast archaeological site that allows visitors to imagine the magnificence of the ancient world. The theater, with a capacity for 5,000 spectators, still stands on the hillside, offering views that combine natural grandeur with human achievement. The Tholos of Athena Pronaia, with its iconic circular structure, and the treasury of the Athenians, which held offerings and wealth from the city-state, reveal the artistic and spiritual richness the ancients invested here. From the heights of the hill, the valley unfolds like a mosaic, explaining why the founders chose this location. Delphi was not only visible, but also inspiring, a site where geography itself seemed to whisper divine messages to those who knew how to listen. At the heart of the Aegean Sea lies Santorini, part of the Cyclades archipelago, 200 kilometers southeast of Athens. The island unfolds around a volcanic caldera 12 kilometers in diameter, whose rocky walls and deep waters guard millennia-old secrets. Its geography, shaped by volcanic activity, was the stage for one of the most astonishing catastrophes in human history, capable of inspiring legends that have endured to this day. Around 1600 BCE, the Minoan eruption of Santorini forever transformed the eastern Mediterranean. Considered one of the largest volcanic eruptions in history, it unleashed a force that devastated towns, triggered tsunamis, and buried entire civilizations under ash. This cataclysm inspired, centuries later, Plato's dialogues on Atlantis in Timaeus and Critias. The descriptions of an advanced civilization surrounded by the sea, with cities seemingly floating over a sunken volcano, strikingly reflect prehistoric Santorini and its Minoan culture. Some modern historians suggest that the combination of eruption and destruction could be the origin of the Atlantis myth, merging geological memory with human imagination, where the reality of catastrophe became an immortal story. Akrotiri, the Minoan city preserved beneath layers of ash, has been called the Pompeii of the Aegean. Its vibrant frescoes reveal scenes of daily life, ships, landscapes, and religious rituals, testifying to a sophisticated society deeply connected to the sea and nature. Multi-story buildings and an advanced drainage system demonstrate highly developed urban planning, and remarkably, no human remains have been found, suggesting a successful evacuation. Yet the mystery remains. Where did the inhabitants of Akrotiri go? The island guards its secrets with the same discretion as the ash that covered it more than 3,000 years ago. Mythology also leaves its mark on Santorini. According to legend, Euphemus, one of the Argonauts, participated in the island's mythical birth, a mound of land rising from the sea, which over time became Thera, the ancient name of Santorini. This mythical connection highlights the island's link to Apollo, god of the sun and prophecy, whose influence extended across the Aegean, blending geography with the divine and transforming a natural tragedy into a sacred stage for the ancients. Today, Santorini is a spectacle where beauty arises from destruction. White houses cling to volcanic cliffs, while sunsets paint the sky in shades impossible to replicate. The paradox of the island is evident: a tourist paradise built upon the memory of a cataclysm. Every street, every terrace overlooking the sea, reminds visitors that beneath the present serenity lies a story of natural violence, survival, and myth. Santorini remains a place where geography and legend merge, inviting those who visit to imagine lost civilizations and feel the force that shaped the ancient world. These places are not just ancient ruins on a map. They are the exact coordinates where human imagination gave shape to gods and monsters. And if you're fascinated by uncovering Europe's hidden secrets, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because every week we explore the corners that guidebooks never show or never tell you about. Now, let's travel to the island where Greece's most infamous terror was born. Just 5 kilometers south of Heraklion, on Greece's largest island, Crete, lies Knossos, the epicenter of Minoan civilization between 3000 and 1100 BCE. This land, bathed by the sea and protected by mountains, was the cradle of cultural, artistic, and technological advancements that fascinated even visitors of antiquity. Its palaces and cities reflect a world where organization, myth, and power intertwined, and where every structure told stories of heroes, gods, and mythical creatures that still resonate today. The Palace of Knossos, discovered by Arthur Evans in 1900, stands as a monumental testament to that era. With over 1,300 rooms spread across 20,000 square meters, it is believed to have inspired the legendary Labyrinth. Its corridors, intricate and without any apparent logical pattern, bewilder modern visitors just as they would have puzzled the ancients. The inverted red columns, wider at the top than at the base, and the frescoes depicting bulls and ceremonial scenes highlight the importance of this animal in Minoan culture. Among its spaces stands the throne room, considered the oldest in Europe, while an advanced drainage and plumbing system reveals remarkable technical knowledge for its time. Knossos was not merely a palace, it was a world within a world, a tangible reflection of Minoan wealth, power, and imagination. The myth of the Minotaur originates in this very setting. King Minos, angered by his refusal to sacrifice a white bull to Poseidon, suffered the god's curse, His wife Pasiphae fell in love with the bull, giving birth to the half-man, half-bull creature. To conceal the monster's birth, Daedalus constructed a wooden cow that allowed Pasiphae to unite with the bull, then designed an intricate labyrinth where the Minotaur was imprisoned. Every 9 years, Athens had to send a tribute of 7 youths and 7 maidens as a sacrifice, an act symbolizing Crete's power over the city and mortal fear of the unknown. Theseus, son of Aegeus or Poseidon depending on the version, volunteered to face the beast. With Ariadne's help and her famous thread, he reached the heart of the labyrinth, killed the Minotaur, and led the youths out of the palace, a tale blending heroism, strategy, and human ingenuity against chaos. The myth of Daedalus and his son Icarus adds another layer of lesson about ambition and human limits. After helping Theseus escape, Minos imprisoned Daedalus in Knossos, where he built wings of wax and feathers to flee. The warning not to fly too low or too high tragically came true. Icarus, disobeying, flew too close to the sun and fell into the sea. Beyond its drama, this story symbolizes the mix of ingenuity, daring, and the inherent risks of challenging the impossible, a lesson that transcends centuries. Behind the myth, history offers clues to reality. Some researchers suggest the Minotaur could have been a symbolic interpretation of bull rituals or the ceremonial representation of taurokathapsia, an acrobatic bull-leaping practice. Frescoes at Knossos depict these practices, indicating that the figure of the Minotaur may have symbolized power and devotion more than a real creature. The Athenian tribute, though likely exaggerated in legend, reflects political tensions and the relationship between Crete and other city-states, transforming a myth into a narrative of control, fear, and survival. The Labyrinth of Knossos, straddling reality and myth, has captured the imagination for millennia because it blends the tangible with the fantastic. Its walls, frescoes, and structures still speak of Minoan power and their ability to turn everyday life into a stage of legend. Every corridor and room evokes a world where the human and divine coexist, where art and architecture are storytellers, and where myth is deeply rooted in geography. Knossos reminds us that myths are not just tales. They are the ancient way of interpreting reality, shaping the impossible with stone, paint, and of central Greece, rising above the vast Thessalian plain, stand the rock formations of Meteora, 350 kilometers northwest of Athens. These columns, reaching up to 400 meters in height, emerge from the landscape like stone giants, sculpted by time and erosion. Their abrupt and majestic silhouette seems to defy gravity, creating a scene where geography becomes supernatural and human imagination finds its echo in stone. Around 60 million years ago, what is now Meteora was a river delta that gradually solidified into rock. Slow, continuous erosion carved vertical columns, peaks, and cliffs that the ancients interpreted as more than a geological accident. The name Meteora literally means suspended in the air or in the sky, reflecting the sense that these rocks were fragments of heaven fallen to earth. For the region's inhabitants, this landscape could not be explained solely by natural processes. It demanded a divine narrative, a connection with gods and the forces shaping the world. The myths associated with Meteora are as dramatic as its cliffs. The Titanomachy, the legendary war between Titans and Olympian gods, describes the Hekatoncheires, giants with 100 hands and 50 heads, hurling rocks from the sky. Local legends link these formations to Gaia, the earth, trying to reach Uranus, the sky, in an act of challenge and creation. Additionally, the myths of the Minyans, ancient inhabitants of Thessaly, speak of hidden cities and impossible fortresses atop these rocks. Each myth sought to explain a landscape that, due to its verticality and grandeur, seemed impossible. A territory where the natural and supernatural merged. Over time, Meteora transitioned from paganism to Christianity, transforming its meaning without losing its mystical aura. From the 9th century, the first hermits sought solitude among its cliffs, pursuing closeness to the divine. By the 14th century, monasteries began to be built atop the peaks, an architectural feat requiring removable ladders and nets to transport materials and people. At its peak, Meteora housed 24 monasteries. Today, 6 remain active, preserving the sacredness of the site. Christianity adopted and reinterpreted the rock's mythical significance, transforming the landscape into a space for contemplation, meditation, and devotion, without erasing the sense of wonder that the scene had inspired centuries earlier. Visiting Meteora is to experience a world suspended between earth and sky. Declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the location offers not only spectacular views, but an experience that challenges the perception of what is possible. Walking among its cliffs, observing the perched monasteries, and feeling the magnitude of the rock columns creates the impression that gravity and time are paused. Meteora still feels magical, a place where the impossible seems tangible, a stage where ancient myths and human devotion converge, reminding us that geography can be both a mirror of imagination and a witness to history. Across Greece, every mountain, valley, and sea was shaped not only by natural forces, but also by human imagination. The ancient Greeks did not merely inhabit these landscapes. They interpreted them, projecting gods, monsters, and heroes onto the terrain to explain the mysteries of the universe. From Olympus to Delphi, from Santorini to Knossos and Meteora, each real place became a stage where myths came alive, where stone and wind told stories of divinity and power. Geography and fantasy intertwined so closely that what was seen could transform into what was believed, and what was believed took root in humanity's collective memory. But these are not the only places in Greece where the sacred and the human meet. Beyond the familiar routes, forgotten islands, hidden temples, and ancient ruins hold secrets still waiting to be uncovered. Every rock, temple, and hill preserves echoes of old legends that continue to whisper to the attentive traveler. What other secrets does Europe hide? Discover them in these videos and keep exploring the corners where history and myth blur, inviting you to see the world with new eyes.